It is 6 a.m. and developing right now on Denver7 News. Two separate drive-by shootings in a matter of hours in the metro.
From a community standpoint, this is unacceptable.
Now, police are trying to determine if they're connected.
Plus, an all-out brawl between Back the Blue and Black Lives Matter protesters.
No matter what side you're on any issue, acts of violence doesn't further your cause or make our community any safer.
And new evacuations are ordered on the western slope as a dangerous wildfire grows.
The flames are so hot and the flame lengths are so high that the fire retardant and the water drops aren't even reaching the ground.
Right now that's making it tough to contain. This is the impact of the fire that will be felt all the way here along the Front Range. A live look from our Lookout Mountain camera shows that haze over the skies right now. Good Monday morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady, and it's making for a pretty sunrise. Let's get out to Lisa Hidalgo in her home weather center. The haze is going to stick around for a while, Lisa.
It is. Today we're getting a little bit of a break from the really thick haze because the winds have shifted a bit coming in out of the north. But you can see out west, those counties under an air quality warning for that wildfire smoke through the early morning hours when it's going to be the thickest. And here in town, again, a little hazy, and winds will shift again over the next couple of days with some pretty hot and dry conditions. So fire danger remains a huge concern. Take a look at your backyard forecast. Here at noon, we'll be at near 80. We had a record-tying high of 98 degrees yesterday. Today is going to be about 7 to 10 degrees cooler. We'll see some upper 80s, slight chance for an isolated storm or two late afternoon, early evening, but overall still pretty warm. But our temperatures have backed down to near normal with some upper 80s. Low 90s down across the southeastern corner of the state, upper 90s out west. So it's still going to be warm, and it heats right back up here in town tomorrow. We'll take a closer look at that coming up.
Lisa, thank you. And 6:02 right now, giving you a live look on our roadways. Here's the view, as you can see right there past the Coliseum. Not a ton of cars on the roadways at 6:02 on this Monday morning, but on the map overall, also no major issues, accidents to report. So giving you some drive times, east and westbound I-70, I-25 to Pena Boulevard. We're starting to see a little bit of slowdown on that eastbound drive, but not too bad right now. Just take about 12 minutes. South side of town, north and southbound I-25, less than 15 minutes. Colfax down to C-470 coming to and from downtown. You're in the clear as well. And on Highway 36 in Boulder, to and from Boulder into downtown, really no problems. We'll keep you posted on how things develop through this morning as we go through this hour.
9 people, including some very young people, possibly children, are among the victims of a drive-by shooting in Denver that happened during a gathering in a park. This happened at Byers and Pecos Park in Denver's Valverde neighborhood yesterday afternoon. Denver7's Micah Smith joins us now. And Micah, this shooting has Denver's mayor promising to get answers.
Nicole, Denver Mayor Michael Hancock took to Twitter overnight saying, quote, "No resource will be spared to find the responsible parties for this senseless and stupid act." Now, the shooting happened around 4:30 in the afternoon at Byers and Pecos Park. Police say there was a family gathering happening here when someone shot into the crowd. Investigators with the Denver Police Department say 6 victims were taken to the hospital immediately and 3 more arrived at the hospital later. Based on witness statements, investigators think this was a drive-by shooting. Police say no one in the park appears to be directly responsible for this, and everyone who was shot is expected to recover from their injuries. At last check, the Denver Police Department told us they are looking for additional witnesses, and they're also looking for cameras in the area to try to learn more about what led to the violence.
Bottom line is, this is unacceptable. And we are going to ask everybody that has information to come forward.
The Denver Police Department says they have limited information on suspects at this time, and they will not be sharing that with the public right now. However, again, they're asking anyone with any information that could help solve this case to give them a call. You can also call Crime Stoppers and remain anonymous. That phone number is 720-913-STOP. Reporting live, Micah Smith, Denver7.
All right, thank you, Micah. And Lakewood police say that 2 people were shot in a drive-by shooting during a house party. This was on the 6th Avenue frontage road near Wadsworth. It happened just before 11 last night. The victims are in critical condition. Police say they're aware that there was also a drive-by shooting in Denver, but they say it's too early to determine if the 2 are connected.
Well, nothing about this video will create the change many think we need in this country. Back the Blue and Black Lives Matter protesters got into a nasty brawl in Fort Collins on Saturday.
Oh my God!
Pretty incredible and disturbing here. Fort Collins police say a Back the Blue rally began outside the Fort Collins Police Department Saturday afternoon. After counter-protesters arrived, tensions escalated. Police Chief Jeff Swoboda made a video statement to the community yesterday.
It's important to note that there were active aggressors on both sides. No matter what side you're on any issue, acts of violence doesn't further your cause or make our community any safer.
Police did arrive shortly after that fight broke out to break it up. 3 people were arrested for disorderly conduct.
This morning, the Pine Gulch fire burning north of Grand Junction on the western slope is still growing. It's being fueled by hot, dry weather and gusty winds. Evacuations were ordered late last night for residents who had been under pre-evacuation notice since Saturday. Right now, we don't know how many homes the evacuation covers. The fire started on July 31st. It was sparked by lightning. It has quickly grown to more than 23,000 acres.
The flames are so hot and the flame lengths are so high that the fire retardant and the water drops aren't even reaching the ground.
Right now, the fire is only 7% contained. Crews say the hot nights are not providing any relief. We want to get it back out to Lisa. There won't be really any relief for firefighters coming today.
No, really not at all. And in fact, Glenwood Springs, one of those spots we've been watching the camera, it gets really hazy there. I was driving through that area just last week and that smoke really billowing, and temperatures obviously not helping at all. Looks like 90s again in store today. When you take a look at the air quality warning, now at this point only in effect until 9 o'clock this morning, including parts of Mesa and Garfield counties. We are looking at some pretty thick smoke in the area, highs in the 90s. There will be a little bit of a break from the, well, triple digit heat today, but we're still looking at mid to upper 90s in those areas, so still pretty warm, and those winds are going to kick back up after out of the west a little closer to midweek. We'll take a closer look at that coming up here in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Lisa. There are now more than 5 million cases of COVID-19 across the U.S., and that number is far higher than any other country in the world. Meanwhile, here in Colorado, we have been able to keep new COVID cases manageable. There were another 336 cases added yesterday. There have now been more than 50,000 confirmed cases in the state since the pandemic began. And here's a look at where our hospital beds stand right now. There are currently 337 beds being used by COVID patients. That number also has been steadily going down. Colorado is in urgent need of blood donors to help COVID-19 patients. That's according to Vitalant. If you donate blood, Vitalant will test it for antibodies, and they will then let you know if you can make a convalescent plasma donation to help coronavirus patients here in Colorado. You can find out how and where to donate on Vitalant's website.
President Trump signed 4 executive orders over the weekend to address some of the shortfalls Congress has failed to agree on. His orders cover evictions, student loans, payroll taxes, and those extra unemployment benefits that expired. As for those unemployment benefits, the president's order restores benefits to millions of people but slashes the checks to $400, down from $600. It also requires states to share the cost, providing $100 for each unemployed resident. That part of the order has many governors worried their states won't be able to foot the bill. We have not yet heard from Governor Polis on how Colorado would address that request.
Denver7 is making sure kids have supplies before the school year starts. Volunteers from Denver7 and Larry H. Miller dealerships helped fill hundreds of backpacks in Aurora on Saturday. It's part of our Pack a Backpack campaign. The backpacks will be distributed this week at the Salvation Army on Alameda in Denver. And we want to thank you for donating more than $30,000 to help buy the backpacks and supplies for kids this fall.